a nice finance, and hopefully we can encourage each other to hang in there. If you haven't done so already, please consider liking the video, sharing the video, and also subscribing to this channel for more videos like this.
According to a survey of over 900 business leaders, apparently Gen Z college graduates are unprepared for the workforce. They're saying they can't handle the workload and are all around unprofessional. Let's get into this story. Yahoo Finance recently published a story that is now going viral about how bosses are firing Gen Z just months after hiring them. To me, that lets me know that they are not playing during that probationary period, okay? Be on your P's and Q's because they are trigger happy. I'm not going to lie, y'all, the numbers are kind of crazy. 75% of companies report that some or all of the recent college graduates that they hired were unsatisfactory. 6 out of 10 companies fired a recent graduate the year they hired them, so that's over half. 1 out of 6 hiring managers say they're hesitant to hire from this cohort, so that's the class of 2024. And 9 out of 10 hiring managers say recent college graduates should undergo etiquette training. That's crazy. So what's the issue? Well, apparently employers are fed up with young people's lack of motivation or initiative. Okay, I can tell you what will incentivize the young people. More money. Point blank, period. But I digress because although every year, the new generation is told that they're lazy, they're unmotivated, they want too much, that it's all about them, I do think that there's something to be learned on both sides, okay, the employers and also recent graduates. Not only are these employees fed up with the lack of motivation, but they're saying that Gen Z is unprofessional, they're unorganized, and most importantly, have poor communication skills. What's so interesting is that in a time where the younger generation should be surpassing people that have multiple years of experience in their fields, based off their tech savviness alone, it seems like they're not doing as well as previous generations. Bosses were asked what would make college graduates more hireable. Their answer was as simple as a positive attitude. I feel like this is one of those things when somebody sees you walking down the street and they tell you to smile, even though you might have just had the worst day in the world. We're in the worst job market. The economy is crashing. It's an election year. People are stressed. So many factors, natural disasters are happening, and companies are just be more positive. But what are you guys' thoughts on this? If you're Gen Z in the workforce, let me know what your experience has been in the comments.
So I got laid off from my job about a month ago. I was given the opportunity to work through the end of this month, and luckily they were nice enough to grant me 2 months of severance. So I have a little bit of time on my hands, but almost every single day I sit here while I'm working and I have been applying to jobs, and I've had a few interviews. I had one offer, but it was for a job doing exactly what I do now, and currently it's not filling up my cup. It is not fulfilling me. I feel like it's not giving me a sense of purpose, and I really need that in a job. I've come to learn over the past 3.5 years, 4 years since I've graduated college. But I don't know if it's just me, but is anyone just I'm 26 years old. I feel not burnt out from working, but I just feel like I don't know what I want to do with my life. And it's kind of this scary feeling because so many people around me, I feel like they have this just path, and they went to school. Either they went to school for a certain degree, a certain job or whatever, and then they graduated school and then they just started working this job, and now that's what they do. But I've kind of always been all over the place. I have different interests kind of all over the board, so I'm I don't even know where to begin. I'm should I go back to school? But then if you go back to school, I'm how am I going to pay my bills, because I'm an adult and I have to pay rent and my car payment and shit. So I just wanted to yap and basically vent about this quarter life crisis that I'm having surrounding losing my job. I actually think that getting laid off might possibly be the best thing that could have happened to me, because I feel like since I am blessed to have a couple of months to figure out what I want to do, I think I can pour every ounce of effort into finding the perfect job for myself, or if it's going back to school or whatever the case may be. I am very, very blessed in that aspect, but it's just hard. It's hard to figure out your life's purpose and how to transition that into a career when in this world and economy, I'm sorry to say this, but you have to be making $70K to live comfortably. If anyone has any career advice or resume, job, cool career, I don't know. I've worked in commercial real estate. I thought about getting my real estate license, residential license, like sell residential real estate. I have bachelor's degrees in public health. I worked in IT staffing and sales. Not for me. But if anybody has any advice other than that, let me know.
I got laid off today. And the entire time I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, this is all a part of God's plan. This is all a part of God's plan. Like, yeah, it's sad, but it's also like, I can't be sad if it's God's plan. Like, it's written already. This is just a part of God's plan. And I have to accept that. And I did accept it. I was just like, you know what? No tears. Like, I haven't cried because there's nothing to cry about. Like, this ain't the first time I've had to face something like this. But I think what's different between now and those other times is I'm equipped to deal with it. You know, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. My faith is built for it, tough babes. There's no breaking me down. And honestly, I like this energy. Like, I call it the sink or swim energy, where it's like you're either going to sink and be sad, or you're going to swim and flourish. And I'm a swim and flourish type of girl. So I like this energy because it always pulls out like this monster in me, like this hella driven, hella focused, hella disciplined, like I only see the finish line version of me, and I love it. I'm excited. I really am. I'm excited to see where this next step is going to take me. And I'm excited to share the process with you guys. Honestly, like, I share everything else with y'all, so might as well share this part too. That's the life update. I got laid off, but now I'm a full-time content creator, and that's my dream.
Companies are looking for any excuse to fire employees. Take Meta, for example. A few days ago, it had a massive reorg and layoff. Almost at the exact same time, Meta fired a bunch of staffers for what it says was abuse of a $25 meal credit. The offense? Some staff used delivery credits to buy toothpaste instead of food for dinner. And this was nothing new. Apparently this was common and went on for years. But all of a sudden, right when it needed to perform layoffs, Meta cracked down and let a bunch of people go for this behavior. This is clearly not a coincidence. Meta needed to fire a lot of people, and it found a way to get rid of as many of them as possible without having to give them severance. It didn't care what it had to do, even if it included using the smallest of technicalities to get people out the door. CEO Mark Zuckerberg said that he wanted to be in efficiency mode, and you're seeing publications start to note that constant job cuts have become the new norm in big tech. So this is the ultimate efficiency, getting rid of people without having to pay them once you let them go.
Amazon is firing 14,000 people, and they're all managers. So if you work for Amazon and don't like your manager, then it just might be your lucky day. Amazon layoffs. Tech firm to cut 14,000 manager positions by 2025, report says. Amazon is reportedly planning to reduce 14,000 managerial positions by early next year in a bid to save $3 billion annually, according to a Morgan Stanley report. This initiative is part of CEO Andy Jassi's strategy to boost operational efficiency by increasing the ratio of individual contributors to managers by at least 15% by March of 2025. Basically, there are too many people managing stuff and not enough people actually creating stuff that needs to be managed, and so Amazon wants to fix that. This initiative from the tech giant is designed to streamline decision-making and eliminate bureaucratic hurdles, as reported by Bloomberg. Jassi highlighted the importance of fostering a culture characterized by urgency, accountability, swift decision-making, resourcefulness, frugality, and collaboration, with the goal of positioning Amazon as the world's largest startup. Jassi also introduced a bureaucracy tip line that allows employees to report unnecessary procedures that hinder their work, according to the report. So essentially, Jassi, the CEO, believes that Amazon has become too big and bloated, with too many cooks in the kitchen, and that is impacting the efficiency of the employees who actually produce stuff that makes the company money. So he's planning to change that by firing 14,000 people.
News: John Deere faces backlash after laying off 2,100 workers while shifting production to Mexico. On Wednesday, the tractor maker told officials in Iowa and Illinois Nearly 300 workers are being laid off. This year's total is around 2,100. Employees are furious at the cuts. A longtime John Deere worker at Harvester Works plant in East Moline, Illinois said it comes down to one thing: greed. We get more wind of layoffs daily, it seems, and it's just uncertainty all over, said the worker, who stayed anonymous for fear of retaliation. Donald Trump said in September he would slap a 200% tariff on John Deere's imports if they move their production to Mexico. Now, more layoffs are expected, even though Deere made $10 billion last year and they paid their CEO $26.7 million. Is John Deere being greedy? Or
Gen Xer submitted 1,000 resumes to different jobs and has no luck, even though they've had six-figure roles. And the reality is, there's no guarantee of anything. And it's extremely competitive out there because you have so many layoffs of so many top companies that you're competing against people who are probably more qualified or have connections to the hiring manager that you don't. So even though you feel entitled to another six-figure job, that doesn't mean you're just going to get that. You might actually have to take a step back in order to take two steps forward in the future. It's the nature of today's job market, and you have to be thoughtful, patient, and continue to work hard. 1,000 applications, try 5,000 applications, because all it takes is one.
As showcased in those videos, we are facing a time that we've never seen before in this country. We are all in this together, and we definitely should prepare and get ourselves ready, because it could definitely get worse before it gets better.